What's up, guys? So today we're going to be doing a cold air intake install on my 2017 Ram 1500. Let's get into it. So this is my 2017 Ram 1500, and the first thing that we're going to do to prep for this cold air intake install is to loosen this clamp and this clamp using a flathead screwdriver. So the next thing that we're going to do, since we loosened both of these up, we're going to pull out this intake or this map sensor. If I could figure out how to do that. Hold on. So what I did is, instead of twisting this, you just push this button right here on the bottom and you just pull this right off. And then once we get all that out, we have to pull this hose out right here. Just give me 1 second. All right, so there we go. We got this out, and this housing should come out completely in one part. Pull up just like this. Everything pops out just like that. And there's our factory intake. For this next part, we're gonna take our box inside and construct everything. But what you want to do is take this map sensor out. All right, to get this out, you got to twist it counterclockwise and just slowly wiggle it out. Can't do this with one hand because I'm questionable, so we'll get it. All right, and just like that, we got our sensor out. Let's take that box inside and get it all put together. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our map sensor and this grommet that comes in the kit, and we're going to put it in this hole right here. And this might be a little difficult. You might have to, I know a lot of people say they might have to grease it up. Well, not grease, but lubricate it. So it's gonna pop right through. So if you just put enough pressure from the back, you should just be able to get it right in there. Oh, let's see. Just like that. It's kind of simple, kind of not. If you struggle with it, it's all right. Let's just see if we can get. So you want to have it flush enough with this little tab being against the rubber. I got to push it in a little bit more. And you want to make sure you have it the same way that you had it when it came off and not backwards, or else you might get a check engine code. So for your next step, you're going to want to find the coupler tubing that slims down a little bit, like it fits on or it goes down, you know what I mean? So in this clip, I accidentally put the tube on backwards, so what you're seeing me hold right there actually goes on the other end, and later in the video, that other part flips around as well. As you can see more in this clip, I put the rubber piece on the other side rather than the correct side, which is on the other side of the intake. So if you just flip that piece of rubber onto the other side of the intake, you'll be good. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this hose fitting and we're going to thread it onto this right here, and you want to be very careful when you're threading it down to not put it in the wrong way or over tighten it, because it's plastic and we definitely do not want any damage like that. So just go till it's kind of snug, you know, and then that should be good. Next step after you install this and thread it in is we're going to take this and we're going to put it onto the back side of here. Okay, so I'm not sure how you guys are doing, but I had to take this clamp apart to be able to fit it around there because I wasn't able to wiggle it on there with it on. So I'm going to put this back together and put it on there. All right, so once you get that side on like so, we're going to take this smaller clamp and put it on the throttle body side just so we know it's there. So our next step, once we complete building the intake, we're going to use these screws in the screws set, and we're going to install them and thread them in up here like so. All right, so I found out the hard way, but there is 2 different washer sizes for these bolts. Make sure you use the smaller ones. I just completely took this thing apart, so. And just to help you guys out, because I had to figure it out, we're going to be using these ones. The hex head on the top. Okay, so once we got all these bolts in, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to put this through here, and we're going to basically just tighten that up. So to get this on, you're going to take these two 10 millimeters And they're a little bit smaller. There's 2 smaller ones than the normal size. I figured out the hard way, of course. And then you're gonna thread that onto there. And next is our air filter. All right, so we got our air filter on, and all we have to do now is tighten this little Phillips head down, and this is almost complete. So once your air filter is on, we're gonna come to this step right here. This is going to go on the inside alongside of these 2 using these bolts and the lock nuts. So you could tighten those down and we'll go to the next step. All right, for this next step, once you get those slightly hand threaded in, we're gonna take our 10mm wrench and our 10mm socket wrench, and we're going to tighten those up and make sure they're snug. Now for this next step, we're going to be doing the same thing that we did on this side over here with this one, but it's actually going to be going on the outside over here. So you're gonna take that 10mm with that nut and you're gonna put it right on there. All right, for our final step of the air box, we're going to put the weather stripping along the top here, and you're gonna start at one end with it and go to the other end. You might have to snip it, not sure, let's find out. All right, once you get your weather stripping on there, it should look something like this. And now it's time to go install it in the truck. Now, before we actually install the new air box, we're going to want to take off our engine cover, pull this off, and connect this extension on with a little clamp. Now this little piece should come off pretty easily from there. Now it's time to get our new part on. Now, I don't know about you guys, but this thing has been giving me a pain. I used a little bit of WD-40 on the outside of this. Hopefully it didn't get in there, because I don't know, WD-40 is flammable, so I hope it doesn't do anything, but I just need to push a little bit more. All right, I finally got it most of the way on. I got it past that little blip, and I took this clamp that comes in the kit with a 6mm socket and tightened it on there. And now we can start installing the airbox. All right, so after that, what you're gonna wanna do is find this bolt that goes right here next to the coolant cap, go down right there, and then the front airbox one, this one, that goes right there. And now we're actually on to installing the new airbox. Now it's time to actually install the new airbox. Okay, for the next part, we're going to be putting on our intake itself, and we're going to hook this up to the hose that we extended, and then we'll go on to the next part after that. All right, so the intake is officially mounted. Now it's just time to get onto the wiring parts. So for this part, you're gonna take this white end, connect it to your factory sensor or your factory wire, and this is gonna go into your sensor. All right, and there we go. We got it all officially mounted up. Now it's time to start this thing up and get some sound clips. Okay, so this is before the cold air intake. All right, here is cold air intake to the floor.